everyone, I am back with my March wrap-up. So I'm just going to share everything that I've read in March. I actually did pretty good this reading month. I read 7 novels, 2 juvenile nonfictions. This one's like an easy chapter book. This one is more of just a flip through. So let's go over what I read and what I thought about them. The first book I have here is called Writers and Lovers by Lily King. This doesn't look like something I would normally read, but I entered a Goodreads giveaway for it because Noelle from Noelle Gallagher, I think is what her name is, from BookTube, recommended this. She said she loved it, and I trust her judgment. It just was not my cup of tea. I can't even tell you what this book is about. I think it deals with like this middle-aged woman, or maybe she's not even middle-aged, maybe she's younger, that is a writer, and she's been working on this novel for so long, and she also has a love life. I don't know. And her mom recently died or something. I really don't remember what this book was about. I didn't care about it. I didn't like it. I give it like a 2 stars. Then we have The Good Girls. I also got this one from my library. This is written by Claire Bartlett. I picked it up because this cover was super cool. I really liked it. You get multiple perspectives in this book. It deals with a murder of a young girl that's written off as a suicide, but as there is a second murder of a young girl that was caught on film, rumors start to spread and people try to figure out what happened and who murdered this person. We get the viewpoint of the popular cheerleader. We get the viewpoint of the outcast, the druggy person. We get the viewpoint of the first victim's sister, and we get a little bit of a diary entry from the second murdered girl. I enjoyed the story. It wasn't fantastic. The twist at the end, I was not expecting what happened to happen. Maybe I wasn't reading in between the lines or paying attention enough to the story, but I wasn't expecting this to happen, so I enjoyed that. I picked up The Farm by Tom Smith from my local library. I just thought this cover was kind of like creepy thriller-esque, and it really gave me some good vibes, so I picked it up because of the cover. But then I read a little bit of the synopsis here, and it was like, who do you trust, mom or dad? Mom says there's this big conspiracy theory going on and not to trust these people, and the dad is pretty much like she is having a mental breakdown, like she needs to be in an asylum. So it kind of gives you like, it gives you a lot of confusion delving into this conspiracy theory and deciding who can you trust, who is telling the truth, and what really happens. So the son in this scenario has to decide who he believes and figure out what happens. I was interested in it. I read this pretty fast because I wanted to know the truth, but I didn't really like it. Like, I didn't really care about the conspiracy. I didn't really care about our characters. I thought it was okay. I gave it like a 3 stars. Moving on, this is actually a book I own, so I finally read a book I own and get ready to get rid of it. It's called Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemamer. I don't know how you say names. This is the cover. I actually paid full price for this book too, which doesn't happen very often. I really enjoyed this. I actually just finished this yesterday. This deals with 2 main characters, a boy and a girl, and our girl is grieving over the loss of her mother, who has recently passed away, and she writes letters to her mom and leaves them on the gravestone, and this juvenile delinquent who is doing community service at the graveyard saw the letter, read it, and kind of responded, and it became a routine for them to then talk through letters and then through email. And we get to learn a little bit about the lives of these 2 people and how they connect and spark a great friendship and romance. And I thought it was really great. I gave this a 4 stars. I thought it was very fun and interesting, and I cared about them. So next I have How to Break a Boy by Lori DeVore, and I actually got this at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has been pulling through for me recently. A lot of the books that I've bought from them recently have been really good. So this is a young adult novel about a mean girl, pretty much. She is a high school mean girl, very popular, and her friend's super toxic. I think in this book the mother dies too. I don't quite remember. And so our main character's kind of in a funk, and her best friend is pretty much like, get over it. And so is her boyfriend. And so they decide to help her come back to reality, that it would be best if they cheated. So the best friend and the boyfriend sleep together so that our main character girl, you know, has feelings again and comes back to reality. And then, like, they act like she shouldn't be mad about it. There's a lot of toxic relationships in this book, but I really enjoyed the story. So our mean girl ends up pairing up with this little nerd person, and they spark a fake romance that turns into a real romance and helps her let go of her old self and become someone new and someone better. I really loved this next one, Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I finally convinced my boss, the head librarian, to order this book a while ago. So it was ordered back in October, but I just read it this month. And this deals with an all-girls school on this separate little island, and this disease breaks out, which kind of gives them like animal characteristics a little bit. It starts affecting everything. So this one girl, she grows a second backbone. A lot of girls break out in blisters. Our main character's eye goes blind, and she has like this big scar. But no one knows what this disease is, or how to stop it. And it's affecting the plants, and it's affecting the animals and the people. And so little by little, all these girls start dying. And we don't know who to trust in this book. We don't know what's happening. The Navy gives them shipments of food, but it's not enough to survive. And the teachers are kind of acting a little suspicious. I really enjoyed this story. I wish there was a little bit better ending. I think they could have made this ending better or improved it, or even did like a second book and made this a duology of what happens after. But all in all, I think it was great. I give it a 4.5 because I wish the ending was a little bit better, but I really did enjoy this story. Next, we have Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashardoud. I don't know how you say it. I love this cover. I picked it up because of that. It is a YA fantasy, which I don't read too much of, but I'm really glad I did. I give this a 5 stars. This deals with a girl who has been cursed by like these demons. And so if she touches anyone, they die. So she has to wear these gloves, and she lives in isolation. Her family is royalty, but she is kind of hidden away because if anyone were to find out that she was cursed, they would look down on the entire family and overthrow the family. So when she tries to find a demon to help her break her curse, she ends up getting in over her head, and some shit happens. I really enjoyed this story. I thought it was wonderful. And at the end, you know, you kind of feel sympathy for the bad guy, and you kind of want him to win. And, you know, sometimes I wish the bad guy won, but like became a good guy, you know? Like, I want that. So let's move on to my nonfiction reads of the month. So I picked up Was Maya Angelou. These I've been reading recently. I read a couple of them. They're really just short, easy chapter books that tells you the life of many famous people. So for Women's History Month, I chose Maya Angelou to read about. And it just gave you an overview of what she accomplished in her life and how she grew up and what happened. I thought it was good. I mean, I don't really feel like you can rate these types of things. I thought it was really easy breeze. It gave me some knowledge about Maya, and I appreciate it. I also read Rad Women Worldwide by Kate Schwartz. I love this book. First off, how badass is this cover? But second off, it is worldwide. So we have women from all over the world that it talks about. It's not just, you know, everybody you've already heard of. Most of the women in this book I actually had never heard of. Now, obviously there's a few I've heard of, such as Frida Kahlo and Malala and the Venus sisters, not Venus sisters, Williams sisters, Venus and Serena. But there's also many women that I've never heard about, or the accomplishments that they've done, and I really liked the illustrations in this book. But basically, it gives you 1 to 2 pages of information about each woman and what they did in their lifetime and the accomplishments that they made. And I loved it because I had never heard of these women, and I never heard of the types of things that they were facing. I know very little about other countries, so I thought it was amazing to read these accomplishments. One that stuck out to me was a teenage girl in Germany during World War II. She actually joined the Nazi Party when she was young, and, you know, they weren't aware of what their government was actually doing, and when she found out, she tried to speak against it, and she was a teenage girl. And I think her and her brother paired up and wrote this article, you know, denouncing Germany being a Nazi place, and speaking out against their government. And they recruited other people, made thousands of copies, and posted them all over Germany. And the US actually found one of these copies, made a bunch more, and airdropped them on Germany. And I was just amazed at that. Like, I never knew that happened. I never heard about that ever, and I thought that was amazing. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed learning about some badass women for Women's History Month. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and let me know what you read this month, and if you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought of these. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And just let me know what you recommend for me to read next. All right, have a great day. Bye!